Now I'm sure we've all been there to witness an incredible speedrun that's been on pace to be a huge personal best, or even a world record for the entire duration of the run, only to be smited by the gods and luck deciding to run out when it was needed most, causing the run to crash and burn into a bittering failure and resulting reset. Many video games contain an algorithm known as a random number generator, or RNG for short. RNG is an important factor in video games, as it is used to determine random events. This could include the amount of damage a player does to an enemy, whether a speed check is passed, and most famously, what type of quality of loot is dropped upon killing an enemy in something like World of Warcraft. But it can also be used for something as simple as a coin flip or a dice roll. RNG has come to be a catch-all term within the gaming community, transcending that of speedrunning communities, with it often being seen as a negative thing. A player dying to a skillful headshot in CSGO will typically blame RNG. A ball bouncing off a car in an unintended fashion in Rocket League will be blamed on RNG, and getting hit by a green shell in Mario Kart will also get blamed on, you guessed it, RNG. And while RNG often isn't the cause of some of these things occurring, what with players being affected by latency, being outskilled, or just being outraged that things didn't go in their favour as a result of some small mistake they made, it is the thing that most commonly gets blamed. That's not to say RNG is a completely bad thing. Without randomness being present within a game, things would get very stale very quickly. Imagine you're playing some kind of turn-based strategy game like XCOM, and instead of a percentage modifier showing you how likely you are to hit an enemy, the game just tells you if you are or aren't going to hit the mob. It's going to get pretty old pretty quickly. Not having the opportunity to take that risk of a shot landing or missing takes the thrill out of the game. I mean, sure, there's probably a strategical element still held within the game that concerns the player and AI's positioning, resulting in a landing and dodging of hits, but the risk is where the fun lays in a game like XCOM. The best stories of this game are told when the player beats an insurmountable force through sheer luck, or when that very same luck screws them over on every single roll. Without RNG, games like Minecraft, Terraria, or No Man's Sky as we know them now would not exist. These experiences would just be a bunch of static maps created individually by the devs instead of the procedural generation from seeds we all know and love. RNG allows for these expansive worlds to be created rapidly and provide a unique experience for each player traversing through the world. Of course, as I've said before, RNG isn't without its fair share of criticism. Randomness can take the skill out of a video game, leaving the outcome of a game or an encounter down to a simple dice roll that is completely out of the hands of the player or players involved. Where I personally dislike RNG is in one of my favourite game series of all time, Borderlands. The random factor that I'm specifically in dislike of is the looting part of the loot of the franchise. Picture me having just spent 20 to 30 minutes taking down Terramorphous the Invincible, only to find that the loot the raid bosses drop doesn't contain the legendary weapon that I want. So now I have to load the game back up and spend another 20 to 30 minutes killing the boss again, only to pray that luck is on my side this time around. Of course, this adds a tremendous amount of replayability and longevity to the game, but damn it, sometimes I just want to obtain my loot and move on to the next thing that I want to do in the game. RNG is often heavily disfavored in speedruns. The randomness present in many video games means that events, enemy placements, or damage dealt are entirely out of the runner's control, meaning that no matter how much they play the video game, they are limited not by their skill, but by how lucky they are within the game. I can absolutely empathize with this position for top level and serious speedrunners. The frustration they must experience because of something that they have no control over is incredibly understandable and relatable. I mean, look at ZFG and Slask losing 24 minutes and 43 minutes respectively to the damn-paid digging minigame in Ocarina of Time. Essentially what happens during this segment of the speedrun is the players need to visit the gravekeeper of Kakariko Village, who offers the player to go on a grave digging tour. The player can then request Danpei to dig at certain areas for 10 rupees, with the aim to uncover a heart piece. Unfortunately for speedrunners, there's only a 10% chance of this happening on the first try. But for it to take 64 attempts for Danpei to dig up the heart piece in ZFG's run is truly astronomical, with odds of about 0.13% or nearly 1 in 1000. And we can't forget the run-ending RNG that occurs in some games, like the outdated any percent route in Dark Souls, which require the player to kill a Black Knight and obtain the halberd it dropped. Unfortunately, this weapon only dropped about 20% of the time, and would essentially require a reset or run for a suboptimal time. Fortunately, however, a new route has been developed using some new wrong warp glitch that bypasses getting the Lord Souls and doesn't require getting the BKH anymore. Events like these mean that getting a new personal best time or a world record boils down to a matter of attrition, constantly grinding out attempt after attempt after attempt until luck and skill decide to work in perfect harmony, overcoming the human limit and the mystical dice roll. This battle of attrition is part of the reason why cheating in speedrunning occurs. Of course, there are some runners out there who aren't good enough to obtain a world record time and simply cheat their way to it. However, there are runners out there that have strived and worked hard to have a perfect run only to be let down time and time again by RNG. I'm sure that many of you that watch these kinds of videos were aware of the Minecraft cheating scandal centered around the YouTuber Dream. Minecraft speedruns are heavily luck-based at the high-end level, and so when Dream obtained their personal best, it was noted that they seemed to have an incredible amount of luck. A suspicious amount of luck, in fact. It was later found that Dream had accidentally left a mod installed on their version of Minecraft that caused piglin barter sections to be incredibly favourable, and an increased drop rate of blaze rods from killing blazes was also observed. With Minecraft speedruns being so heavily RNG based, with the determining factor of getting a PB or world record being down to luck, one could almost be sympathetic to why these runners cheat. Carl Jobs brilliantly summed this up saying that players don't cheat to get a faster time, they cheat to get a time faster. But I'm getting into this video and I haven't really spoken about why RNG is a good thing in speedrunning. First and foremost, RNG, for better or worse, breaks up the overall monotony that can be seen in many speedruns. Doing the same thing over and over, grinding away until perfection is achieved can become incredibly tedious for some. But having games that can break up their repetitive nature is important. It allows the player to truly display their skill held within the game when something goes off course and out of the typical flow of the game. The random events, small or large, will show just how skillful a runner is when they make up to overcome that new obstacle presented in their path. Be it cars swerving into the runner forcing them to go off course, or an enemy creature slightly off its natural position due to a missed cycle, requiring the player to quickly figure out a way to mitigate this change and minimize any time loss that they might incur. I also think RNG has been a great mechanic for speedrunners because it creates some truly unique and incredible moments that are remembered to this day, like Raikaru, who faced the mighty RNG wrath of the Forbidden One and lost to the final boss nearly 14 hours into their speedrun. But it's also the time Caleb Hart 42 landed the perfect dice roll after he forgot to equip a transform ability which was crucial for success in the boss fight. Instead, he needed to land exactly 99 damage to get through the fight and continue the run.
Very important. Let's go! Fuck! What? No transform. Ah! Okay, now it's really over. Fuck, man! You gotta be kidding me! Why? Dude, of all the things to forget, it has to be the most important thing. Watch me get a 99 roll. Oh my god, that would be so amazing. Oh my god! I got it!
Confirmed suspicions on Reddit express why they think RNG is a net positive in speedrunning. They said that not only does it keep the run fresh and provide variety, but it also levels the playing field in a similar way to a game with no RNG would. If you, the runner, is fighting against the randomness, then so is every single runner you're competing against, and it can then come down to who can handle what the game throws at them the best. Finally, I personally believe that RNG has helped boost the popularity of speedrunning inadvertently. People getting screwed over by RNG or beating the odds or landing incredible dice rolls have found some great exposure and boost their own channel, thanks to content creators like EasyScape or Apollo Legend, highlighting these moments in their videos, which has helped to attract a more casual crowd who want to watch speedrunning content as well as make fellow speedrunners aware of other speed games, and thereby bolstering multiple communities. I don't know how many other people can vouch for this, but part of the reason I started my speedrunning adventures was thanks in particular to these two YouTubers, who got me initially into watching so many different speedrunners, and then eventually trying out Spyro 2 speedruns for myself. So looking at it all, I think it's unfair to say that RNG is inherently good in every single speedrunning game. However, I think overall its presence is a net positive. For the runners, RNG is probably less fun, as having to make those critical decisions and avoid or work with whatever randomness the game throws at you, on top of having to take the most optimal route to be as fast as possible, is a daunting thing to perform. But for the viewers and speedrunning community, the RNG is what keeps us coming back, on top of the victories and pop-offs we see from these runners. The RNG truly is where the best stories are told. Watching our favourite runners overcoming challenges presented before them in such an impressive way is what keeps us coming back, and watching them do what they do best.
It's really hard to get hard stuck on A1, like this map is so easy. It's basically only these... Oh, wow. I shouldn't have said that. Nice game. Wow.